Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Man, y'all know what time it is. T-Law got the eyes of Lee Van Cleef when he go in that field.
Checks it down underneath. That's a crossing route to Christian Kirk. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Christian Kirk to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
They made a major mistake when they made T-Law go to the spirit of the sky, to the oracle of the saber-toothed tiger, and the saber-toothed tiger now has the scepter in his hand, and he been to put every critic to rest. Man, last night I done marinated 2 turkeys. I got my cherry wood getting ready for my smoker. Just got off from work, off Pritchard Roll. I'm going to bake me 2 Cornish hens. My special recipe, I call it a Mediterranean Cornish hen. I'm going to top it off with my homemade Long Island iced tea. And I'm only going to top it off with 1 red top of Coca-Cola. The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever. Duval!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Jaguars Today is off and rolling game week 1. Imagine, Tony, you were dropped in from, maybe a year in space where you had no communication with pop culture, whatever the case may be, and you came in and you heard that Jaguars Today open for the first time. Right? What is this show about exactly? It's about Jaguar football, man, in all its many forms, and we love the passion.
You might be able to pick that up from the open for sure.
You probably could pick that out a little bit, but some of the other references might not make a whole lot of sense. It might not make sense to you if you listen to the show every day, for that matter.
Who knows?
We love our man Holiday, and it will be a national holiday coming up tomorrow. First day of the NFL season, Philadelphia and Dallas, and we get a game in Brazil. Cristiano will give us a full report, I'm sure, next week on how things went down in Brazil with the Kansas City and the LA Chargers. We've got the Carolina Panthers coming in and take their whipping on Sunday, and we're going to talk MVPs today on the program. We'll get to that. Tony got the best text, one of the best texts you can get. You know, like, hey, honey, we hit the lottery, which, by the way, reminder to me, it is 1-point-something billion drawings tonight.
It's worth the time and energy now. Yeah,
it is worth it. Look, it's been worth it the last couple of drawings, but I've forgotten to go and get some tickets. So I'm that guy who thinks, hey, man, a couple million's not enough. But you give me a $500 million lump sum.
Change. Who needs to show up for that?
No, but I did get the text. It was not, hey, honey, we hit the lottery. It was, and you got it as well. Hey, what do you want for breakfast tomorrow?
We did,
It came from the desk of Mike DiRocco as the Breakfast Bowl loser. So, Dylan, at least if we can't be winners like Tony, we're not losers like DiRocco.
Hey, yeah, I was about to text them if they got some watermelon, if they can slide in and give me some tomorrow morning.
I don't think Chick-fil-A has watermelon.
Yeah, it's
on
not
the
in the
menu.
fruit bowl either.
It's not?
No.
No watermelon in there? They don't have any watermelon-flavored drink? You'd have to go to Sonic probably to get something like that.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
You could, special order from D-Rock. We have not. Again, we're moving. Physical locations, the radio station. We got movers in here today.
Oh, yeah, they're working.
They're wrapping things up. I'm like, man, that couch is older than me. I don't know how careful you need to be with it, but go right ahead. Do your
Get the
thing.
blanket, a saran wrap.
Right. I mean, like,
you just throw it in there, dog.
I mean, you might want to leave that saran wrap on there because it'll hold the couch together a little bit longer, so which would be nice. But, that's my napping couch right there, Tony. On the occasions when the Jags play on Monday or Thursday night, I don't drive all the way home to St. Augustine and come back, to be on the air 3 hours before kickoff. So I'll go crash for an hour on that couch.
Well, I slept on it for 3 hours a couple Fridays ago.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, though, because a lot of the moving is happening this week. And we are not moving at least for 2 more weeks. At least for 2 more weeks. So will there come a point where you and I are sitting cross-legged on the floor with a microphone in our hand going, hey, welcome in to Jaguars Today.
We'll see. Yeah.
Stop by. Have a seat. We got plenty of room for you in here. It's possible. I don't know. The other last thing that'll be in here will be that infernal camera so they can stream us and know just what's going on at every moment of the broadcast. All right, today it's interesting. Kevin just said, I got a one-part answer. I said it's a two-parter, the question. Not really a question, but you can phrase it in the form of a question. Who do you think the MVPs will be for the Jags? One offense, one defense for 2025. You want to make your case? We'd love to hear it. Kevin said, no, it's a one-parter, Travis Hunter. So, hey, okay. I mean, look, I heard what the guys were talking about on the drill this morning, and to a large degree, they're right. In a couple of years, Travis Hunter needs to be the best player on this football team, right? I mean, if you are the Heisman winner, Blitnikoff Award winner, worthy of the package of picks that they gave to move up to get him, going to change the game of football, Tony. This is not our words. This is their words, the organization's words. And I'm not hating it. I'm just saying this is the importance you've put on this. I mean, if Travis Hunter's not a transformational player, I mean, Jeff's point this morning was that this is how you become a great team. You've got to land difference makers. You've got to land guys that, yes, you have to land guys that outperform expectations, right? Always have to do that. But the guys that you invest the biggest investment in have to deliver that. There's a lot of weight on Travis Hunter's shoulders. Maybe not immediately right out of the gates, but it will grow over time.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things to throw in there. Obviously, whatever progress we're going to see from Trevor Lawrence in his career, like that really needs to be the best player on the roster, right? Like, and I get it. The Hunter thing is interesting because he's going to be playing offense and defense, so he has the opportunity to impact both sides of the ball in a way that Trevor Lawrence obviously can't. But Trevor Lawrence has to be the franchise.
But, all right, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Hurts their best player?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, he may be their most important player.
Yeah. But he is the most
best
important
player.
Right. And I think there is something there's a lot of expectation right now that when we get to the end of this season, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a top 5 wide receiver in the entire league. If he's not already, right? So the bar is high for Hunter to get to those kind of things. I'm not saying that he can't get there, but I don't expect Travis Hunter to be a top 5 wide receiver in the league. I don't know how good a wide receiver he needs to be in combination with whatever he would be doing on defense to impact the game.
Right, but the combination needs to leave you no doubt
Same conversation.
that he is transcended, that he is a star, that he's a difference maker.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be you are the best receiver, you're the best cornerback. If you are a top 15 corner, a top 15 receiver, that would be phenomenal.
He'd be the best player in football.
You probably would be the best, depending on the status of the quarterback position around the league and who's at their peak and all that stuff. Based on our second Jaguars Today Fantasy League draft yesterday, Brian Thomas is expected to be the second best wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, hey, look.
If you're going to get him, you got to go early.
If you're going to get him, that's the only time you're going to get him if you're a Jag fan, right? You know he's going in the first round of a 14-team league, and he went 3rd overall last night. So, there you have it. I know E.T. was happy Jahmyr Gibbs fell to him at pick, I don't know what it was, 5 maybe, something like that.
6.
Was it 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever it was, he was happy he got Gibbs. But, hey, you got to have the courage of your convictions out there today. So let us know who you think the offensive and defensive MVPs will be for this team. We're going to hear a little bit from Liam Cohen today, some stuff that we didn't get to yesterday after he spoke on Monday to kick off the week. And we'll look at the Jags first. Is it still an unofficial depth chart? I mean, when does it become official, right? What's this guy or that guy?
The depth chart.
Someone's running out there.
Yeah.
As one of the starting linebackers, and it's not going to be both Ventrell Miller and Devin Lloyd on Sunday. Is this such a great mystery and a competitive advantage, or is this just trying to bolster both of them that, hey, this competition is ongoing? And if that's the case, what'd you do the whole offseason that you haven't been able to figure out who is the guy that you want to play at that spot? So we'll talk about the depth chart a little bit as well. So look, Travis Hunter's not starting on defense. Well, maybe not in 2 wide receiver or 2 cornerback sets, but they're not going to be in base defense more than 30% of the time.
Right.
Something like that, So, if that's the time he rests at 30% when they're in base, when teams are running the ball on early downs, fine. Right? And he's in there, and Jordan Lewis shifts to nickel, and we'll see if Travis Hunter's in there or Jarian Jones is in there, but I have a hunch it's going to be Travis Hunter. This is why you drafted him. This is why you went after him. I think Jarian's had a terrific offseason by all accounts. So, all right, today, You want to be a part of it? 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Hit us up and stream us on YouTube. You can see the YouTube virtual studio, and you can post in the chat there. You can stream us on Twitter. You can stream us on Facebook. You can find us at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
We need to poo the hell out of that thing.
Tomorrow. We all will. All right. Jaguars Today. Let's talk MVPs. We'll hear from William Cohen. Got a lot to get to today. John Oehser joins us for the second hour of the program as well from Jaguars.com. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Get the weekend feeling all day Friday.
Best feeling in the world, isn't it?
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
You're going to love this.
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day. Built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Fall is here. The air is crisp. Football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Want a fresh and flavorful tailgate this season? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad perfect for lunch, parties, and your tailgate. Order 3 ways at one of 4 area locations. Call 1-833-MY-CHICK or online at chickcatering.com.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
Jacksonville, it's football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
On game day, you trust your team. On storm day, trust the people's roofer. Morgan Conley Roofing. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
All right, Prosser here, and I've been telling you about Chad and Sandy. They make the promise. Let me show you some of the proof. This is Nicoletta and Daniel in Panther Creek. We don't recommend this, but we bought our new house before we sold our old one. Then worst case scenario happened. Our old home failed to sell in a year with another realtor. Finally, we got smart. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they sold it in 10 days above asking price. These are the results you're getting with Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to have the right people on your side. Maybe you want max price. Doesn't matter if you're buying or selling. Maybe you just want to sell right now. Well, fast, easy, and stress-free, that's what Chad and Sandy bring to you. They have this guarantee. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. They're the local real estate experts you can trust for all of your real estate needs. Go to chadandsandy.com today. That's chadandsandy.com, or call that help hotline, 904-414-6200.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right. Jaguars Today rolling on. Trevor Lawrence will speak this afternoon after practice. Going on, I guess it's open to the media at 11:40. So I'm thinking that's when it starts, right around there, right? It's probably just the first 15 minutes or so. But, so Liam Cohen is going to speak in less than 10 minutes, as a matter of fact. We'll see if we can bring you some of that. Trevor Lawrence available later on this afternoon, so you hear from the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That'll be a regular thing on Wednesdays going forward, as is pretty typical around the National Football League. So you can expect to hear that here on Jaguars Today and all throughout the course of the day on 1010XL as well. All right, let's get to let's start the discussion here on at least the pool of candidates, right, for MVP. Dylan, why don't we fire up today's 10-10 take to get it started?
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
And clearly, you can pick anybody you like on offense, right? But I think the pool of candidates is honestly extremely small for the Jacksonville Jaguars on who has a realistic chance to be considered the team's most valuable player on that side of the ball. Tony, I don't think it can be an offensive lineman. It's so hard for one offensive lineman to have that kind of season that he stands out so head and shoulders above his group.
He'd have to be an all-pro.
He'd have to be an all-pro, basically, right? And even if he is,
odds are someone else on the offense is having a good year.
Maybe, right? Like, so it's just, I think it's very difficult if you don't have an established star offensive lineman for a guy in the ecosystem. Can I use that phrase? Does anyone use that? That the Jags find themselves in right now. I don't think one of those guys has a likelihood of coming forward. Now, could it be a running back? It could always be a running back, right? But which one? I think three guys could conceivably be the offensive MVP. And it's the first three. I don't think LaQuint Allen is likely to be the MVP. I think under certain circumstances, Travis Etienne takes his backfield and runs with it. Tank Bigsby does the same, listed as co-starters still to this moment.
Yeah.
Or, as many of us, including us, have suspected, by the second half of the season, it'll be the Basil Tootin show.
Yeah. If I had to pick one of the running backs, it would be Tootin, because of kind of my lean towards that's my expectation.
Are you 100% sure he'll be active in week one?
No.
Right? It's very. How can you pick a guy to be the MVP?
No. Like you said, I think it's a small group.
Small sliver. Brian Thomas, absolutely.
Yes.
Right? I mean, was last year and could very easily be again. Travis Hunter. Okay. I think it's possible. I mean, the guy was the Biletnikoff Award winner, but I think he's going to be a little bit in the shadow offensively of Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas will put up better numbers this year. I have a hard time believing De'Ami Brown or Parker Washington can stand out enough compared to those two guys to be considered the MVP. Brenton Strange, well, he'll stand out because I think he'll be the primary pass catcher, but will the volume be enough, Tony? I think he's an interesting one, right? Like, maybe if Brenton Strange got up...
You have to look at him as like half an offensive lineman.
Maybe he got 65 catches, right? And he caught 8 touchdowns, right? And just had that kind of year, and then the Jags' running game was top 5, and he was a big part. I could see it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say... I think Brian Thomas is a better candidate, but clearly the best candidate, the easiest one, is like the league MVP. Like the last dozen MVPs are quarterbacks, right? And Trevor Lawrence is far and away the obvious candidate. That's if you presume Trevor Lawrence is going to play well, right? You don't pick him if you think he's going to stink, but I don't happen to think he's going to stink. I think the Liam Cohen scheme and an attention to a ground game, and we're going to see it right off the bat. Carolina, by a wide margin, the worst run defense in the National Football League last year. I mean, by 800 yards worse than any team. That's astoundingly bad.
Yeah.
And so have they gotten that much better in one off season? I think the Jags have improved their offensive line to some degree. I think the commitment to the running game and the options that they have and the scheme that Liam Cohen is going to bring is going to help. I think the Jags are going to have success on the ground this week.
I do. I would agree. It was funny. I was looking at some of the matchup calendars in fantasy football for this week, and Jacksonville, Carolina, like, if you got Jags and Panthers, get them in.
But who?
Right. Like, it's one of those things. You'd have to pick your back, right, in Jacksonville. I guess I would go with ETN for this week.
Yeah, I would too.
Would be the guy that I would feature in that group. But this is based on what happened last year with these two defenses going head-to-head. Like, I think the Jags are going to be better. I haven't paid enough attention to Carolina to know how much they've improved on that side of the ball. I think there's a lot of assumptions made right now about the matchup coming up on Sunday based on what we saw from them last year, and we're not making the same assumptions the other way necessarily right now because we know what they did in Jacksonville to try to improve on the defensive side. I don't know if they have or haven't, but talking about the MVP discussion, it really does feel it's a 2.5 man race.
Yeah, it's really a 2-man. Like, if you gave me the odds of it being Trevor Lawrence or Brian Thomas Jr. are like 97%.
Yeah.
That's what I think, personally. And that could be wrong, obviously. Yeah. We're getting some different options on here. More Trevor than anything else.
Yeah.
And
I think Strange is an interesting one because he could be a guy, if he is the 70-catch guy, if he gets that 65, 70 catch, and there's 4 or 5 plays that we can remember where he's putting a guy in the ground on a block. Right, like it's that kind of thing. Like there's the potential for that but it's so low, right? The odds of that kind of thing happening for that player. When you do have Brian Thomas Jr., who showed what he did in his rookie year, and the other guy's the quarterback, right? And he's the quarterback that was the number 1 pick, and there's a lot of expectation for him going into this season on top of it with the changes with Liam Cohen. It really does feel like a 2-man race.
Yeah, last year, Kate Otten in Tampa had that stretch, and we talked about it, where Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were both out, right?
Yeah.
So he became the focal point of the passing game for a 3-week period. He caught 8 for 100, 9 for 81, and 8 for 77 with a total of 3 touchdowns in those 3 weeks, right? Fantastic stretch. It's like the most productive tight end in football in that stretch. Well, so that was 25 catches, okay? Rest of the year, he caught 34 balls. The whole rest of the year.
Yeah.
And now he missed the last 3 games of the season, but okay, still.
So if he caught 40.
Big chunk of games. And basically, maybe he caught 40 in the rest of the year, but he ended up with 59 for 600 and 4 touchdowns. And 3 of them came in that 3-week span right there. I think, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Brenton Strange was like 45, 50 catches, something like that.
That's my expectation for him.
Somewhere between 500 and 700 yards. Yeah. And the touchdowns are hard to predict, right? He could be a huge red zone weapon, or he could be just the guy who scores 4 or 5. Right? And I'm with you, though. There is, if it were to bubble up that it wasn't Trevor Lawrence or Brian Thomas Jr., I think Travis Hunter would be the one you'd look at because of the ability and the investment, and it's gonna, you're gonna follow his impact, and part of that's his feel, right, as well. Like, it's tough to which offensive lineman. The offensive line is doing great, so which one stands out above the others that you consider an MVP?
Yeah.
Here, you're expecting certain things out of this guy, and if he delivers them, you're going to be inclined towards, hey, he answered the bell. But I think Strange is the good dark horse. I just think, man, it could be a running back, but you're just good luck figuring out which one.
Good luck trying to pick which one you're going to take out of that group that they have back there. I do think there's the potential, like if you didn't limit it to one player, what is the potential for the offensive line to just be the MVP? Right.
That's a different question.
It's a different category question, right? Because the others, it is individual. Like, we're not saying the wide receiver group for MVP. We're saying Brian Thomas Jr. when we're talking about these things. And I do think when we talk about, I don't think you will be able to pick one offensive lineman that's going to be the MVP, like that kind of level. But I do think there's at least the potential for the offensive line group to be the MVP of the engine.
I think it
gets this thing going. I still think it would be tough, but I put it clearly below the Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. thing. I think it's kind of on the level of strange to me. Like, if you took it as a group, I could see it kind of on the level of being the odds of it being the MVP, kind of on the level of strange being the
Maybe
MVP.
Something like that, like a 1-2% kind of thing.
Yeah.
But think of it this way. Which teams have the best offensive lines, just off the top of your head?
Philadelphia, Detroit.
Right?
Yeah.
Philadelphia, we acknowledge they have a great offensive line.
Yeah.
And we say, wow, look at the tush push, right? Jalen Hurts, it's part Hurts, it's part that offensive line. Look at Saquon, right? But nobody's saying
Saquon gets all the awards.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying, and Hurts would get them if they didn't, right? Or maybe A.J. Brown would. But very rarely are you going to say, even on a team that has arguably the best in the league, Detroit, we look at Detroit, we're like, well, that's Jahmyr Gibbs, man, right? Or Jared Goff, or you name it, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, or David Montgomery. And, all these guys are going to get consideration for that's just kind of the nature of awards, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have, you don't have to, but it helps a lot to have some statistical component to kind of validate this is why I feel this guy was worth this much, right? That's why those positions are hard to gauge sometimes. So for me, it's an easy Trevor Lawrence call on the offensive side. I say it's an easy call.
Picking it right now,
I'm presuming everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
Right? But I would pick Trevor, and I'd pick Brian Thomas Jr., and if I could have those two, I'd let you have the field very easily, and I'd give you pretty good odds on that when it's all said and done. But that doesn't mean you have to agree with us, and we've had some differences of opinion come in on that already. There are a number of people picking Travis Hunter, and some are admitting they're projecting and hoping that that's the case. He is the wild card in this whole thing, but, man, he's got a lot on his plate. Could he be the team MVP and not the offensive or defensive MVP? That's an interesting question, I think, because I definitely could see a scenario where that played out. All right, let's come back, and we'll talk a little bit about on the defensive side of the ball, some of the candidates. I think it's a bigger pool of guys, and we'll hear a couple of thoughts from Liam Cohen as he approaches his first game as the head coach of an NFL team. Your Jacksonville Jaguars hosting Carolina at 1 o'clock on Sunday. You'll hear it all right here on your flagship home for Jaguar football, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Jacksonville, archery season is here, and nobody does archery like Green Acres Sporting Goods, home of the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida. Come test shoot the newest bows from Matthews, Hoyt, Raven, and all the top brands. And starting this month, take advantage of Florida's sales tax holiday on all Second Amendment related items, running now through the end of the year. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Here's what the car insurance companies may think they know after a car crash. They know you probably don't know what your claim is worth, or how to calculate pain and suffering, lost wages and future earnings, current and future medical expenses, or diminished value to your car. But guess what? We do. And if we don't win your case, you owe us nothing. For a fairer fight, you know who to call. Farah and Farah. Jacksonville.
Right now, They're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
How wide is home plate in baseball?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The home plate in baseball is a generous 17 inches wide, although most major league pitchers would think otherwise.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, it's Joe C. When was the last time you flushed out your water heater? Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan. So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059. Roland Reese Plumbing.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. More Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Liam Cohen's going to get to the podium here shortly. This morning, he has not begun his pre-practice media availability. We'll bring you maybe a couple of clips from that as he gets going here. But let's just get one in from Liam Cohen as we look forward to opening up the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready for it, man. Like, a lot of people, season can't get here soon enough. Well, no, usually for me, that's not the case.
I don't mind the off season.
All right, I want because I really felt like this weekend. I did. Sometimes you go into a holiday weekend, you're like, oh man, you're exhausted coming out of it. But I really rested up. I feel good. I'm ready to go. I'm on my in-season schedule.
Yeah,
I'm ready for football. There's no question.
Not looking forward to next off season so much with no first-round pick to look forward to.
Hush your mouth.
Right.
Okay, because I'm going to win the Powerball today, and it's not going to matter.
We need the team to be really competitive so that, the Jaguar season pushes into January. That would be fun, to fill up part of the offseason for us.
The more we can celebrate a Super Bowl championship, yes, I would agree with you.
I think we could get through an offseason pretty quick on a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, so May
like this
16th,
offseason went quick.
May 16th. Welcome to Jaguars Today. How happy are you today? You still happy?
With everything that went on with the organization, the GM out, new head coach, all the changes that happened, the Hunter trade, like everything that happened, it felt like a really quick offseason for the Jaguars to me. I'm ready for the season to be here, though.
Well,
it's go time.
Game one, we've circled it. I think they should beat the Carolina Panthers. And I get it. The Carolina Panthers are saying the same thing. Oh, look, guys, this is for a road opener. This is as good as it gets, right? Yep. One of the handful of teams that finished worse than us last year. So I get that whole aspect of it. But getting this first game, how important is that to Liam Cohen's team?
It is important for sure. Like we want to go and set the tone 100%. I wouldn't say I want these guys to put an all or nothing approach into the first game just because you don't know how any season's going to play out. But it is important for us to get the ball moving a little bit in terms of playing the way that we want to play. Whatever the result is, we've got to live with that ultimately. But if we show, coming out, playing with great energy, execution, playing tough. Is it going to be perfect? We all know it's not. But it is important for those guys to be able to get some confidence, okay, in a game setting. All right, these systems and these fundamentals that I've been getting coached on for months now work, right? I mean, ultimately, it comes down to when there's shown improvement and you do execute in all three phases, it helps create more buy-in for what you're trying to do, and now they're listening and you have their attention. So it is very important. I wouldn't say if the season's lost if we don't have the much success that we would like to have, but you definitely want to see that jump that we're talking about in terms of the physicality, the toughness, the nature that we want to play the game. That's really what I'm looking for, and to see how we respond to adversity, because there's something's going to happen in the game that doesn't go our way. And I want to see how we respond to that, and that'll help me as we move throughout the season, seeing how we do that, and that helps guys come together as well as a team.
All right, look, as a coach, you can't say the season's over if you lose the opener, and it's not. Clearly, the season's not over if you lose the opener, but, man, it's not just enough. Tony, I don't want to say, well, you know what, they lost, but they look sharper out there doing. They lost in a better fashion this time. They looked more cohesive. They had fewer miscommunications. Yes, I understand that kind of stuff can lead to more wins down the road, but I don't want to there's just no moral feeling better about the way we play it. I don't care about, play an ugly, sloppy game and win and then fix the mistakes next week. Much better than playing whatever Liam Cohen football turns out to be and coming up on the short end of the scoreboard.
There have been seasons where going into it, it did feel like there was the opportunity for the team to lose week one and you just feel better about where the team is. Right? Like there have been seasons that we have gone in with that kind of mindset. I don't think recently that's necessarily been the case, but there have been seasons in Jaguars history where you've had that kind of feel. This is not one of those seasons. I'm not saying that I necessarily am locked in on this is a playoff team, but it could be. Right? Like there's the potential for them to be that kind of team. And if they're going to be that kind of team, you beat Carolina.
At home.
Right.
And your opener.
Like it's just something you do if you're going to be that kind of team. It doesn't mean that if they lose this week, I don't think they can do any of those things, but they make it that much more difficult if they can't get it done against Carolina. So the expectation that they could and should win this week, I think, is completely fair.
A Carolina team that, as of 10 days ago, is now without two of the guys who were probably top three receivers on their depth chart. After the trade of Thielen, okay, because Jalen Coker looks so good, we're going to move him to the slot. Leggett starts on the outside. And no, now Jalen Coker's down, and he's on IR. So now you sign Hunter Renfrow back, who you felt like wasn't good enough to make your team.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Hunter Renfrow hasn't had some success in the NFL, but, again, he was out of football all of last year. Right? Didn't make your team initially. You had to circle back to him after the injury. Your left tackle was coming off an appendectomy. I mean, just that alone. Josh Hines-Allen has thrived against Carolina. Trayvon Walker's been a hot starter. I saw somebody posted a graphic that he's had a sack in his season opener every year so far in the National Football League. And so let's have that continue.
He had a pick in his first game.
That's right. He did have a pick in his first game. So, I mean, look, Trayvon, obviously high on the list of candidates for MVP for the Jacksonville Jaguars on the defensive side this year. I think Josh Hines-Allen is probably going to be the leading vote getter, although a lot of people, I don't know if it's projection. Maybe they want it to be the case because he was the number one overall pick, and I don't know, but I think a lot of people feel like Trayvon's going to surpass Josh Hines-Allen. As a pure pass rusher, I don't know if that's the case, but potentially maybe as an all-around player, let's put it this way. I'm glad they have them both.
Yeah.
But I think you can make a case for either one to be a strong MVP candidate. I think I don't think we're going to get much love for it, but you could, along the lines of if the offensive line is improved, it helps everything around them. If Eric Armstead can roll back the clock a few years and have like a 6 or 7 sack season as a defensive tackle, which draws double teams and opens things up for the guys on the outside. Now, the problem is with that theory, those guys on the outside are going to put up big numbers then, right?
Yeah, I would expect.
And so if they do put up big numbers, we're drawn to those numbers as validation for who's more valuable. But Eric Armstead could be one of the most valuable pieces on this team, Tony, simply by showing up and getting back to the form that he played at for a number of years in the NFL at the position where he is most natural.
They've placed a big bet on him. right? Going back from defensive end to the interior, they placed a big bet on Armstead going into this process. So we'll see exactly how well that bet may be able to pay off. And if he does.
Sense, though? Like, to me, it's like the risky bet was to try him as anything but what he's played his whole career.
Right, but the bet is we're not adding anything.
Right.
That's the bet. Right, like
at least that 3 technique.
Right,
specifically.
at that spot specifically, they decided to go with the Armstead, Mason Smith. Now they've added a couple guys along the way in Austin Johnson and Saunders. Right, so they've addressed what they felt like watching in camp. They were like, "This isn't going to be enough." Right, we got to do something to fortify this group. We'll see if the decision it's not like we didn't all look at the defensive interior and say this is something they got to do something about. And they had chosen to do nothing about it essentially until a few weeks ago.
And then they determined that they felt the way I read it,
something.
Our run stopping is not good enough.
Yeah, we got to do something.
And they brought in 2 different guys who are basically nose tackles. I disagree with the Logs. I was a little surprised. Like, I would be very surprised. And maybe I'll be wrong, but I would be surprised if Austin Johnson has a jersey and Mason Smith does not.
I read that as Logs having earlier in that conversation saying that he was going to lean a whole lot on the veteran side of it. That part of that read that way to me. It's not exactly what he said, but that's kind of what I took it as. But I'm with you. Like I
don't
expect
play the same position,
right? Like I expect both those guys to be active.
Yeah, I think it's Armstead and Smith. I think it's Colin Saunders and Devon Hamilton. I think Austin Johnson probably is hopefully quality depth this year. I hope. I mean, look, I could be wrong. They're not telling me what they're going to do. They're not even telling anybody who the starting linebacker is next to Foye, right? Devin Lloyd or Ventrell Miller.
We'll find out Sunday.
Yeah, I got to imagine if your name is first ahead of the or, if it's Tony or Mike, that Tony is going to be the guy who gets the first look. And maybe we play at the same time, but the guy whose name is listed first, in the case Devin Lloyd and, of course, Travis Etienne ahead of Tank Bigsby, even though they're listed as co-starters. All right, let's go through the rest of the defensive candidates to be the most valuable one for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. Top of the hour, John Oehser will join us from Jaguars.com. We hope to bring you some thoughts from Liam Cohen as he speaks before practice today. Along the way, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. New coaches.
The future. That's truly what's exciting.
New players.
I bring the juice every day.
New season.
We've done some great things this offseason.
This is where the dream begins. And Duval is downright ready.
Time to go.
Now, it's for real. Jaguars, Panthers, Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Josie for Hard Rock Bet, and I know you've been waiting for this. College football is back with massive matchups to kick off the season in style. The only thing better than hearing your favorite school's fight song is the sound of cha-ching. Hard Rock Bet makes it easy to place your bets so you can feel like the big man on campus. Download the Hard Rock Bet app or log on hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 3rd, 1995, in their NFL debut, the Jacksonville Jaguars fought the Houston Oilers 10-3 with an attendance of 72,363.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
There's a new game changer in downtown Jacksonville, and it's not the two-way star you might be thinking of. It's Pour Tap Room Jacksonville at Laura and Forsyth. 2 floors, 80 self-pour taps of craft beer, wine and cocktails, and a full liquor bar. Pour Tap Room has all your game day favorites. Wings, burgers, and more. You can even grab a slice or a pie next door at Pizza Dynamo, and they'll bring it right to your table. Pour Tap Room Jacksonville, a beer festival every day.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Lee Bryce. What do you know about that tour? Saturday, September 13th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. With special guests Ashley Cook and Lewis Bryce. Award-winning country sensation Lee Bryce. On sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss Lee Bryce Live.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
You know, Tony, 30 years ago today, Mike Hollis looked like he was a lock for team MVP as he accounted for all the scoring in the Jaguars' debut. I was at that game, and I remember thinking, man, this is the worst game I've ever seen in my life. It was terrible. 10-3, but it was exciting, obviously, because Jacksonville had the NFL.
I'm looking at the play-by-play. Yeah, I'm looking at the play-by-play of the game. By the way, in the fourth quarter, Mike Hollis hit that 26-yard field goal. That was the only scoring for the Jags. That was on their possession crossing from the third to the fourth quarter. So to begin the fourth quarter, he made that field goal. The Jaguars' next few possessions, 3 and out, intercepted on the first play, and that was the end of the offense that day for the Jaguars.
I can't recall. Did Chris Chandler get hurt in that game? He went 9 for 14 for a big 61 yards with the lone touchdown to Haywood Jeffries.
It was on the opening possession of the game.
Will Furr, though, came in and threw 9 passes. He was 4 of 9 for a big 19 yards, which, you know, basically that whole output dwarfed what Jacksonville was able to put up. The Jags had, 146 offensively in the opener?
Something like that, yeah. Berline started the game, but Burnell finished it.
Well, a month later, Jags beat Houston for their first ever win. So, I mean, it can change. And, you know, by week 7, they'd scored 27 in a game, lost that one 30-27. By the way, the defense didn't hold up. Scored 30 against Seattle, lost that one 47-30. Unfortunately, there's a lot of losing, man. It was an expansion team. It's understandable, right? But that first game was, it set offensive football back. Maybe not years, but at least a week. I would say it was not the prettiest thing I've ever seen. No. All right, so that was 30 years ago today. Looking forward now, Tone, we talked about the defensive line group. I think Foye Oluokun could be the MVP of the Jags, but I think he'd have to add some more splash plays to it, right? Like, he's going to be consistent. He always puts up his tackles. He's a 100-plus tackle guy, well over in some cases. It's an unofficial stat, but, I need to see, like, maybe a pick six or two, a couple of big sack fumbles, things like that. I think it'd be tough overall. He's a steady guy. He may be the most reliable guy on the defense a lot of times, but I don't think he's a strong MVP candidate.
No, in my mind, it is kind of similar to the offensive conversation. There are guys that I expect to play like stars, right, on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I expect that Trevor Lawrence is going to become a star at some point. I hope that's going to be this year in his career. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is already there, and if he's not, he's really close to being at that kind of level. I think Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker being the common answers to this kind of question today, there's a reason for it, right? They're considered the two best players on that side of the ball for the team. So it's hard for me to imagine anybody else on the defense really being the MVP. I do think those guys kind of suck the air out of a bunch of the arguments for these guys. I think Foye is potentially an MVP, like Strange is potentially an MVP in my head. Right, from that kind of perspective on it. I don't know what kind of season somebody in the secondary would have to have.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think I would take a bet on anybody in the secondary. I say anybody. Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, Travis Hunter. Dewey Wingard might be a super dark horse, right, because he's beloved.
Yeah, but Hunter's an interesting one.
You get 5 picks, okay, and maybe take one of the house. Right, and generally grade out well as a coverage guy. Like A.J. Boye had that season in 2017. All the hype was for Jalen Ramsey, and he was a great player at the time. But A.J. Boye had one of the greatest cornerback seasons in the history of the National Football League.
He did.
And Calais was your defensive MVP, no question. But if you had a guy, if Tyson goes out there and has 6 interceptions, I'm not saying he will, but if he did, that's, to me, like, you're not going to see Foye have that many splash plays. I don't think. You're not, he might have a handful of sacks, he might have a couple of picks, but to see a guy have 6 interceptions, maybe take 1 or 2 to the house, have a season reminiscent of peak Rasheem Mathis. I could see that happening. I could see it from Jordan Lewis because he's become kind of a firebrand, like lightning rod in the secondary, and he makes plays. I could see it from Tyson. I could see it from Travis Hunter. I think the pool is deeper, and I think all those guys, for me, I'd rather, like, if we were in a betting market, I'd rather put a unit or 2 on any one of those guys in the secondary than I would on Strange or most of the players on offense.
Yeah, like, I look at it, and you mentioned the season that A.J. Boye had, right? And that was, Jacksonville came alive.
It did.
That season. And, Calais was the guy that got all the awards, right, for that Jaguars defense, and he was deserving, of all the recognition that he got. I can't imagine Tyson Campbell having anything close to that kind of season unless Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker are eating. Like,
maybe so.
I think one of those requires the other to happen. I think I've seen Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker have that kind of year when nothing was happening on the back end. I haven't seen the opposite here in Jacksonville.
All right, what if you get 2 guys who have 10 or 11 sacks, and then you get a third guy with 8, right? And then and you have that one guy with 5 picks in the secondary. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like a situation where, well, they cost each other votes, right? Like, who do you vote for? Trayvon, you vote for Josh.
Like, that's kind of the offhand scenario where I could see it happen.
But I think that path is more, for me, it's more likely than one of these, I want to call them fringe. Brenton Strange is very impactful in what they do, but in terms of putting up numbers,
the non-Trevor Lawrence or Brian Thomas Jr.
The outside category. Anyway, you can send us yours, as many of you have, on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010, or hop on social media and reply to today's Jaguars Today question of the day. John Oehser will join us next, and we'll continue the discussion on the road to the season opener on Sunday. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Get straight talk from D-Rock.
So let me get this straight.
Mike DiRocco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Opened by Lee and Kate's Glass. Guaranteed greatness since 1926 on 1010XL.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
On Jaguars Today.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of shaving and waxing? At Hello Smooth Men's Spa, laser hair removal permanently reduces hair growth for smooth, stubble-free skin. It's life-changing. With over 400 5-star reviews, they're Jacksonville's trusted choice. Learn more at hellosmooth.com.
The Friday night lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Pick it here with a game winner. It's Checkmate Coatings. I've scouted them all. And this Jacksonville crew's the real deal.
I'm Brendan, owner of Checkmate Coatings. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Score big at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? You know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Franzi. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
This is your local sports update.
I'm RJ Saunders Ford, 1010XL. The Jacksonville Humane Society is offering an exclusive chance to win a suite for 20 to this Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. Go to jaxhumane.org/JagsTix for more information. Former FSU basketball star Derwin Kitchen, who was a 3-year starter on 3 of Florida State's NCAA tournament teams, has been named an assistant coach/player development coach at his alma mater. Right now, 83 degrees at 11 o'clock, time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, Johnny O's in the house. What's the matter? You're not excited? It's opening week.
I was playing off the intro. Yeah.
No. Yes. That's our reaction. Your reaction should be one of delight and joy. And
talking football.
Well, let's talk about first of all, let's get the most important thing out of the way. Okay. Were you happy with your fantasy team that you drafted?
I wasn't as unhappy as I guess Dylan is reported to have been.
Dylan reportedly hated the watermelon team that he drafted on Monday.
I don't know that I ever come away liking my team, and I didn't like it last year, and it was okay. So.
Yeah, you had a pretty good team last year, I think. You did well.
I wound up at the end because I had Josh Allen and Saquon.
Yes.
And they were
Josh Hines Allen?
No, just Josh Allen.
The other one. That's a pretty good combo to have last year.
I guess it's okay. I don't feel like I love it, but I don't know the nuances of fantasy football the way the two people sitting next to me do.
Well,
so I'm not very good in like a pinch.
Dylan's quote in the chat was, "My team is stank."
Yeah,
I believe is what he declared.
It was more stank than my morning breath. How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure my team stank, but I'm not sure I'm going to.
I don't know. But Dylan was not happy.
How many times you play a lot of fantasy football?
Yes.
It's kind of your thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are times where you think you have an awful team and it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah,
right. But there are also times when I think I crushed the draft. I'm pretty honest with myself. I'm like, it's just so and so. My wife always asks me because she's nice. That's what how'd you do? Like she really cares, right? Like, I crushed it. I knew you would.
Oh, good for you.
Good for you. Or it's just so. It's probably better than you think. Thanks.
Now, is it theoretically your experience? Because I was picking like 12th this year, and then like 3rd in the next round or 4th, whatever. Is that better, or is it better to have like?
Ask Tony. He had the first pick.
Yeah,
I think it's better at the end.
I did not like having the first pick.
Yeah, in a 14-team league, like I feel like you're at the end of the first round. You get 2 premier players. I think that's a little bit better.
Yeah,
I had more fun in the middle of the round last night.
Yeah, right. So
I was curious. Yeah,
nobody cares about any of it. We're not getting into the particulars. Just wanted to get John's overall feel. Here's what we have with particulars. By the way, let me go on the record here. We're just talking about Tony and I discussed all the candidates for offensive and defensive MVPs. We asked you when you came in who you think they're going to be. You and I agree. Tony, why don't you give yours first? Because John and I are on the same page here. Offensive MVP for the Jags?
Trevor Lawrence.
We're in agreement across the board. Defensive MVP for the Jags?
Josh Hines Allen.
Okay, we're going Trayvon Walker.
Mm-hmm.
John and I are. So listen very carefully, please. Okay?
That's a tough ask.
We have tickets to the home opener.
Jaguars home opener.
Jaguars home opener. Jacksonville Jaguars home opener this Sunday, 1 p.m., Everbank Stadium. The real one against the Carolina Panthers, right? Cats versus Cats, that whole 9 yards. John thinks that Trevor Lawrence and Trayvon Walker, they're his picks for offensive and defensive MVP. I asked John, if you couldn't choose them, which 2 players would you take?
So if I can't choose the first 2.
You cannot have Trevor and Trayvon. They're off the board. Okay, so taking them away, John told me who his backup picks would be. 1 offense, 1 defense. You call Dylan right now and tell Dylan who those 2 players are. You got to get them both right. And you can have a pair of tickets. We got a pair, right? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Anybody in particular to thank for these tickets, or are we just thanking ourselves?
We just thank ourselves here.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks, Mike. You're welcome.
So 641-1010, and Dylan will be dealing with a bunch of wrong guesses, is my guess. Or however many it takes. Maybe somebody gets it on the first try.
Right? I could explain my pick, but that would give it away. So I'm not going to do that yet.
We'll do that after we get the
explain
winner.
it
As soon as we get the winner,
Yeah.
we'll get into that for sure. But, John, just in general, we heard from Liam Cohen earlier about the importance of week one. He's not going to say this is a must win.
Right.
You can't do that as a coach when
No, I
you've
like
got
his answer about
16
this.
more to go. But how much of a if you want to achieve your objectives this year, this is one you got to get kind of game.
Well, I'm not one to I try to avoid looking at the previous season's records when analyzing a schedule because everything is so much can change. But if you believe that last year's records will indicate how good their opponents are, after Carolina, they've got a stretch coming up that ain't easy. You got Joey Ballgame sitting there next, and the Houston Texans are coming, and then I don't believe the 49ers are going to be down.
A lot of people do, but I don't think they're going to be
down compared to the Super Bowl kind of contenders that they are year
But
to year.
don't they always seem? I mean, it's hard for me to think that early in the season they're going to be a walkover.
It's a tough trip against a good team.
Yeah, and the Jaguars, as we know, always play so well out west. So it gets tough. So I do think it matters very much to win. I liked Liam's answer more about he wants to see the kind of team that he wants to see what he considers sort of his style team. He wants to see play style. And I think if he sees that, I think they'll win. The physical, if they run well, if they stop the run, if they're the kind of team he wants to be that overcomes adversity. He talked a lot about that. But yeah, I think it's if you're 0-1 going into Cincinnati with Houston next, it starts looking tough really quick, just like it did last year.
Right. Agree that I'd rather be shaky in week one and win. Right.
Sure.
Right. I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
though,
no doubt.
he talked a lot about we want to look like the way we want to look.
Sure.
Well, that's great, but I want one more point on the scoreboard to go along with that.
And I do think we saw Liam Cohen and that Tampa offense absolutely just annihilated Carolina in December. Tampa was trying to make a playoff run, right? So everything was kind of on the line for the Bucs at that point, and they played like it, right? Like they completely controlled Carolina in that game. Does the experience that Cohen had that recently against Carolina have any impact on anything that happens on Sunday?
I mean, I'm sure they go back and look at the game plan. It's so tough because you're dealing with different players. They were on a roll. They knew what they wanted to be by that point. They had made adjustments in their offense in Tampa where they sort of knew from experience what they wanted the identity to be. Baker was playing well. So you go back and you look at it. You go back and you try to see what worked against them. But even if it was the same two teams going at, week one is such a weird week anyway because everybody's bringing out things that the other team hasn't seen before. It's really hard to ever look at anything in the past week one game, particularly if one of the coaches has changed teams.
I think we have a winner. Dylan, we got a winner. All right. Travis Etienne, Josh Hines-Allen.
Yeah, well, and I think Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker to me are almost inseparable in terms of, I think if one's the MVP, the other is going to be a reason the other is the MVP. And with Travis Etienne, I don't know if he's going to have the second, if Trevor's the MVP, it's sometimes hard for receivers to have numbers that trump that. So I don't know that if Brian Thomas Jr. is the MVP, then why wasn't Trevor the MVP? So because he probably has to have huge numbers.
Brian Thomas Jr., and granted, Trevor got hurt, but if Brian Thomas Jr. posted those same numbers and Trevor finished the season out with the same trajectory, I think that would have been the case last year. I think that
True.
Brian Thomas would have been the MVP.
So I went with Travis more because, it's more of what I would call a discussion pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really fits into their offense. I think he's overlooked by a lot of people going into this year as a reason they could be good. I think he is going to have numbers in this offense similar to what he did, in 23 when he did his 11 touchdown season. So I think he can push that sort of thing.
All right, let's do this. We got Kay hanging on downtown, wants to weigh in on Travis Hunter. So let's get him in before the next upcoming break. John Oehser here with us. Kay, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
I appreciate you. So I just wanted to know, why isn't Travis Hunter starting? He was the best cornerback in the draft. His teammates, we all like him, but they weren't ever considered the best in the draft. I understand people bringing up physicality, but he looked pretty good in college, especially at high altitude, playing both positions. And he said that, both sides, and he said that people always underestimate him. So I'm just wondering, because I'm worried if the Jags lose, God forbid, and the reason is because of poor pass coverage, pass defense, I think the national media especially, they're really going to be coming down on Liam Cohen. Why would you start the best corner? You traded all of these picks to go get him. And, all right.
We got it. Let us jump in here and weigh in on that. As a matter of fact, let's do this because we're up against a break right now. Let's hold that thought, Kay. We appreciate it. I think there's a lot of layers to this. So we'll address this when we come out. Travis Etienne and Josh Hines-Allen were John Oehser's backup MVP picks. Who was the winner, Dylan, by the way?
Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe.
Congratulations. He was phone caller, I think it was billion? 32.
Yeah. Nobody everybody just going Brian Thomas Jr. and Josh Hines-Allen, and nobody thought anybody else would be clever enough to come up with that combo?
Yeah, I got one Armstead, and he was the first one that said ETN.
Oh, and Etienne Armstead. They went off the board on both of them a little bit. All right. Well, regardless, Mr. Joe, congratulations. You're going to go see the Jaguars open up at home against the Carolina Panthers coming up on Sunday. More with John Oehser straight ahead, including Travis Hunter and where he fits in early in his rookie campaign on the defensive side of the ball. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. There's nothing like the feeling of a college football Saturday.
I'm RJ Saunders, and we'll share stories about players and coaches and get you ready for the games.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand every Taco Tuesday. Enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $3.49 and all day, every day. 2-for-1 house margaritas and 2-for-1 daiquiris. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Awaken 180 weight loss.
Jaguars Today, Wednesday.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you spend a lot of time talking about diamonds, but what about some of the colored stones we see?
Frank, when you talk about colored stones, there are literally hundreds of varieties and species in the gem kingdom. As certified gemologists, we're trained gemologically on the identification of each of these and can separate the man-made synthetics and imitations from the real thing. But at Underwoods, we can go to the next step. At Underwoods, we're active buyers of loose colored stones in the world markets, so we have an understanding of the values of colored stones as they relate back to the various qualities. In fact, just like diamonds, we buy most of our colored stones loose, then create the pieces of jewelry to hold the gems. You can be assured not only of the authenticity and quality of our colored stone jewelry, but also of the value. So if you're in the market for a fine quality emerald, sapphire, ruby, aquamarine, amethyst, citrine, tourmaline, peridot, or any other gemstone, come by and see us at Underwoods.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
If you'd like to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Sporting Jacks ladies take on Dallas Trinity FC at Hodges Stadium Saturday, September 6th, text SPORTING to the 1010XL text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
Why does it feel like July in here?
Don't let a broken AC turn not so hot September into sweaty season all over again. Duck Rooter is Jacksonville's most trusted plumbing, septic, and air conditioning company. Visit duckduckac.com.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Fence problems? The old one falling apart and leaning over? Well, if it's time for a new one, call Duval Fence today at 260-4747 for a quality job. Restore the look and privacy you expect. Trust the experts. DuvalFence.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh, noes.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
Well, they just pull Orlovsky in off the boat or what? I mean, and maybe a little sunscreen.
Listen to a little yacht rocket.
Something, right? I mean, I was going to say like off the ski slopes, but he could easily just been wearing some polarized sunglasses or whatever. He's got that I've been out on the boat with sunglasses on face right now.
Day drinking.
Day drinking. I have no doubt there was day drinking involved. Maybe day drinking involved as we speak.
Sure.
With that. All right, let's get back to Kay's point here. We don't often get to the point here on this program. It's usually my fault. But Kay wants to know: is it a down? Does it reflect badly if Travis Hunter is not a starter on defense? We can all weigh in on this, but first of all, looking at the depth chart, I basically consider him a starter on defense.
There are some teams, and I could make an argument that these days traditional depth charts are really out of date. If you had 3 corners on that depth chart, which in most situations, most people would
corner nickel.
Yeah, you're in nickel far more than you're in base. So a lot of teams really do consider the third corner a starter. He would be the starting outside corner when they're in nickel with Jordan Lewis moving inside. So he's a starter in everything but name on defense. Now, I'm sure the way the national media covers football, that somebody will have that take. Oh, he's not starting. Why'd you draft him?
Right.
But somebody's going to have takes all over the place, and you can't worry about that. They consider him significant frontline player on both sides of the ball. Whether or not he's technically a starter on that first play isn't something they're overly worried about.
Do you think Travis Hunter is going to play 100% of the defensive snaps this year?
No.
Neither do I, right? So it doesn't matter.
Or should he?
No, correct.
Right.
And no one can. He didn't play 100% of the snaps at Colorado.
Yeah.
You know, he played a lot.
Right.
But every once in a while, you're going to be off the field for whatever reason. You run deep a couple of times, boom, you take a rest. You're in early. Look, if you're going to rest him on early downs on defense when teams are more inclined to run the football anyway, and Jordan Lewis is your outside corner opposite Tyson Campbell, that's a meritocracy, right? You could say, hey, we did invest all this in Travis Hunter. No matter what, we have to put him out there full time. Or you could say, well, they're showing you that if you come in and play your butt off, that is going to be the ultimate litmus test of getting on the field. So if Jordan Lewis plays ahead of him in 2 cornerback sets, a third of the game, and he's on the field for the other 2/3 of the time on defense and 85% of the offensive plays.
That sounds like the rational way to pull this off.
Right.
I say pull this off, but that sounds like a very logical game plan.
Yeah.
If you think about it, receiver, sometimes there will be one guy who plays 98% of the snaps, right?
Sure.
But usually you've got 2 receivers in your rotation that are playing, 75, 60% of the snaps coming in and out. They're still starters, but they're not on the field every play.
I mean, think of this short yardage, right? I mean, you're going to have a couple of tight ends out there. Maybe Tim Patrick, a big physical receiver, right? You're going to have a tailback, obviously. So there's only one other spot. Many times you see teams line up in short yardage. They have one receiver on the field.
Right.
And they're not throwing the ball. It's
right, you just have it to
he's there to block the one guy, and that's kind of the only situation. So, I mean, he's not playing 100% of the snaps. Let's not.
He's never going to. So lose.
Right. Let's not worry about, though, that like what the national media is going to think about Liam Cohen's usage of Travis Hunter. Well, we haven't even seen what the usage of Travis Hunter has been.
We know
yet.
the national media is going to react to whatever the usage is.
Sure.
For Travis Hunter. Like, we know it's going to be a story somewhere, how much he does or doesn't play.
If he plays 100% of the snaps, it'll be too much.
Now, could you see, though, the Jags going, hey, you know what?
Story, too.
Just because we are trying to, we have said this is a guy who can revolutionize the game. We didn't just say this is a guy who can help us out here on both sides. Change the sport, John. So I could actually see them rolling out there and opening up in nickel and having Travis Hunter on the field just to officially say, hey, first game, we weren't lying to you. Here you go. He's starting on both sides. Now, okay, that's great. Is he playing 100% of the snaps? Still not going to play 100% of the snaps either way.
And
he'll have a significant role on defense.
Yeah, it is opposition dependent, right? Like, they have ideas for when they want him on the field, when they don't. Carolina is a tough team for me to figure out exactly what their game plan is even going to be coming into this one, because they have had the injuries at wide receiver. They bring in a guy like Robert Hunt on the offensive line. We saw the kind of season that Chuba Hubbard had last year.
Very good.
I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina comes into the game thinking we're going to try to run to get ourselves into whatever we're doing in this game this week. I don't know how much that's going to be 2 or 3 wide receiver sets, but I do think 2 or 3 wide receiver sets is what's going to make the call on whether or not Hunter's on the field on defense. So
if the opponent's in heavy beef jumbo, you're not going to play nickel just because Travis Hunter.
No, right.
Nor should you.
By the way, Rico Dowdle, the backup in Carolina at running back, had a better year than any Jaguar running back last year. I mean, look, he and Bigsby, I think both were 4.6 yards per carry, but he was nearly 1,100 yards rushing last year for Dallas. Didn't score a lot, but he caught almost 40 balls out of the backfield as well. So he had a really good all-around season. He's the number 2.
Yeah, if you're Carolina, objectively, you're looking at this saying they went out and they traded for a nose tackle and they signed a nose.
We're testing that.
Armstead was on physically, not physically underperformed, but you had 2 tackles who didn't play that much during the preseason. I go heavy early, see if they can stop me.
Sure. We're on that front, since we're talking about the defensive tackles, talking with Jeff Loggeman yesterday, checked the tape Tuesday, and he said he wouldn't be surprised if Austin Johnson's active and Mason Smith is not, which would greatly surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know how Smith's ramp up has gone. It would surprise me if that was based on both being 100%, and both being ready. That would surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, like, and Log's point was he had seen Eric Armstead do a lot more stuff on the side. That was not my experience at all. I always saw Mason Smith out there working. And Eric Armstead would be like, where is he? He's inside, I guess, today. He's got a rest day or something.
I think Armstead is clearly ahead of Smith because he's been in the league 10 years. But
I'm just
based
talking
on
about
the return to play.
Right, who was ready.
Yeah. That would surprise me, but I don't have a great feel for how that rotation will play out inside yet. I mean,
I just feel like, and certainly you can slide Trayvon and Smoot and guys inside, but if you just want to, you're going to rotate your defensive tackles to some degree, and if you want to have a quote-unquote 3 technique, more of a guy to push the pocket, penetration guy lined up next to Hamilton or whoever's playing nose, I just think Smith fits that bill better than Colin Saunders and Austin Johnson, certainly.
Yeah, well, those two guys are also a little more nose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're going to have 3 nose tackles and just Armstead with no other 3 technique active on game day.
Yeah, that would surprise me, but I don't have a great feel for how Campanile feels about that rotation yet. Hopefully, the first couple of weeks, we'll get a feel for how they've considered players and how they want to rotate game day.
John, I feel like we've spent the last 2 seasons, maybe his whole career, with Trayvon Walker talking about his ability to flex inside. They just haven't done much of it. And it made sense last year. They had no third pass rusher. Who are you getting on the field to move Trayvon Walker inside? They were their own
backups last year.
Right. Does the additions they've made behind those 2 guys up front, do you think that will allow them to move Walker around? Or do you think they just look at Walker as he's a defensive end? We're not looking to flex him, move him around anywhere. That's where they see him.
Yeah, I think on third downs, it's going to make some sense to do that. I think everybody sort of wants to see that because you're right. It's been one of those theoretical things where, we'll talk about it on the air. Yeah, they'll move Trayvon Walker inside, and then they never really do. They never really have.
I think he had 2 snaps in there last year.
I think that is something that they will do more on third down. Is it going to be a thing where they always do that? I doubt it. I think they still want him rushing on the ends in key situations.
Who's the third most impactful pass rusher this year for this team?
I'm going to say it'll wind up being.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be sacks, just pure sacks. Just could be creating havoc, what have you.
I'll go Armstead.
Yeah.
I mean, and that might be a little hope, meaning if he has impact, then I think it really makes them a good front. It's what we all thought we were going to see last year. Hey, Eric Armstead pushing the pocket and all that.
Right.
So what it'll wind up being, because it always is, it'll wind up being Smoot. Because he always seems to wind up,
God bless DeJuan Smoot, man.
No matter what, he always winds up with those sacks where you're like, okay, wow, there's Smoot again.
Yeah.
But in seriousness, you want it to be Armstead.
No doubt.
And I think it will be Armstead. Now, how much does he put, is it a close third or is it a distant third? I think that'll be the key to the pass rush. If he's what you talked about earlier, a 7-sack guy like Malik Jackson was in 2017, then I think you really got something up front.
By the way, it's not my prediction. I think Armstead's probably more of a 4-sack guy, because he's never been a huge sack total guy throughout most of his career.
But he needs to matter inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And last year, nobody mattered on the front, really, except for the 2 outside.
Draw attention somehow.
Something. How close do you think Mason Smith is to being, approaching the Armstead level of impact?
Oh, I think he's ways off so far. Only because I'd be silly to say he's close because there's nothing to have seen yet, because he got better rookie year, and then there really wasn't much to gauge preseason because he was hurt. I think there's a lot of potential there, but I think in terms of production, in terms of really going after it, he's got to show it for 5 or 6 games before I think he's going to be on a level of Armstead.
All right, John Oehser's here with us in studio. We'll come back, and Tony will take us on a look around the National Football League as we continue to march towards the season opener. Who are your MVPs, your strongest MVP candidate, both offensively and defensively for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars? This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Follow the Florida Gators on 1010XL.
Gators!
The Gators hook horns with the South Florida Bulls. Kickoff at 4 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Hey, Hicken here. Celebrate the month of September with our friends at Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus the 4th room free. Take $100 off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Tired of plumbers trying to sell you instead of help you? At Superior Plumbing and Pipeline, we do things differently. We hire real plumbers, not salesmen, and we never pay commission. That means no upselling, no pressure, and no unnecessary repairs. Just honest, expert work at a fair price. So the next time you need a plumber you can trust, make the superior choice and call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, where quality comes first and honesty is standard. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. No commissions, just solutions. Learn more at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
Frank Frangie telling you about Awaken 180. You know my daughter has done so well. I'm so proud of Amber. Can you believe she's lost 50 pounds in 2 months? And she's really proud of that. You can as well. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Prosser here again for Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts you can trust. You might think you have a struggle ahead, but Chad and Sandy always have a solution, and ultimately it ends in a success story. Jacksonville area homes are selling, but getting the right price requires aggressive marketing and proven systems. Hiring the experts who know how to create demand is crucial. You need Chad and Sandy Newman. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers, fast, easy, stress-free. But, man, they deliver with the promises. The local real estate experts you can trust. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Oh, and the proof is out there. Tom and Nicole in Mandarin. I got a new job in Louisiana. We found a new home. Now we'd have to sell fast to avoid paying 2 mortgages. Chad and Sandy did it. Use them today. ChadAndSandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Oh noes.
Served up by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft on 1010XL.
All right, Jaguars Today marching on. A couple more segments to go. We got some fresh audio from the head coach, Liam Cohen, speaking before practice today, so we'll bring that your way here momentarily. We also have 31 other teams in the NFL that we don't care about as much as the Jaguars, but we update you on them regardless, Tony.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Houston has signed backup quarterback Davis Mills to a 1-year, $7 million extension. New York Jets guard Elijah Vera Tucker has suffered a significant arm injury that may require surgery. He is seeking a second opinion for the injury. New England head coach Mike Vrabel said that wide receiver Stephon Diggs is expected to play this week. He suffered a torn ACL late in October last year with Houston. Kansas City head coach Andy Reid said that wide receiver Marquise Brown has been able to do everything in practice to this point in the week as the Chiefs get ready for their game on Friday against the Chargers in Brazil. Philadelphia guard Landon Dickerson was a full practice participant yesterday. He has been cleared for the season opener against Dallas tomorrow after undergoing a knee procedure a few weeks ago. Detroit head coach Dan Campbell said yesterday that offensive lineman Dan Glasgow, who is dealing with a leg injury, should be good to go in week 1. Pittsburgh has released wide receiver Robert Woods from their practice squad at Woods' request, and the Buffalo Bills are signing wide receiver Gabe Davis to their practice squad.
That's an interesting one with Woods. I'm guessing maybe he wants to go have the potential to, like, if you sign him off the practice squad, you got to put him on the active roster for 3 games. Right. And maybe nobody's willing to do that, but maybe he gets a shot to
sign with somebody else's practice squad
that has a clear path, right?
That makes sense.
Who knows?
As a veteran, you're supposed to sort of allow a guy like that.
Yeah, and that
it's okay to,
absolutely. Then. So
good player for
probably ends up being inconsequential. He's a good player, right? Yeah, never.
If a Steelers receiver gets hurt, they may sign him next week.
Yeah, you don't know,
like that kind of. You just don't know, but he'll be available to be signed by anyone whose receiver gets hurt. So we'll see.
All right, let's take a look at or listen to what Liam Cohen had to say. Here's I think an interesting question: how much does Liam Cohen feel like he knows about his team right now?
They've responded to challenges thus far that I've been proud of. Kind of everything that we've asked them to do in so many ways, they've really worked their tails off to do, which we've all appreciated as coaches. Is it, the finished final product that we're all hunting up? No, it's not, but that's the beauty of it. But I do think that it's a group that understands that they have an opportunity to improve, that we all have an opportunity to improve and, improve our play style and the way that we finish, the way that we play the game. I've been pleased with their response to that. How we handle a turnover or a touchdown, given up or a fumble. Like, how are we going to respond? You don't truly know. But thus far, from everything I've seen, I've appreciated their response.
Yeah, response, but like he said, to a lot of low-level stuff. Because in the back of your mind, okay, this is my opportunity. There is pressure in different ways here, but it's still the preseason, It reminds me, Tony, of, like, Alabama, right? They think they have a certain kind of football team, and it doesn't turn out to be that way. North Carolina, Bill Belichick, I thought we were ready to go, and after the opening drive, just got their doors blown off. You don't really know until you get out there in a circumstance that's meaningful.
I think we learned a lot about the 2024 Jaguars week 1 last year when Etienne had the fumble at the goal line. Right, and they never recovered from that, right? Like inside that game and over the course of the season, they never recovered from that moment. So I don't think exactly how your team's going to respond in those kind of moments until you're put into those kind of moments. But Cohen is at least kind of saying the right things about the signs of how they may respond to that kind of thing when it comes up, and it will. It's an NFL season. There's going to be adversity. At some point, you're going to put some of it on yourself. You try to limit that as much as you can, but it's going to happen at some point. How they respond is a mystery, but the coach is at least saying the right thing.
Yeah, I like every time he talks, I like what I hear about what he prioritizes, meaning wants them to play a certain way. I thought they backed that up. We talked about it a lot, but against the Saints when they were running on some 3rd and short type situations or 3rd and 3, showing how they want to play, worrying about responding to adversity and not sort of fooling yourself with how you looked in preseason. I like his approach. I think he understands what's important in the NFL, and I think he's right. You just don't know until which is week 1. You didn't know much about the 17 team. All of a sudden, week 1, you said, okay, this might be okay. You didn't know much about the 21 team, and in week 1, you went, ooh, uh-oh. So week 1 can be an uh-oh or a okay. So we'll see what Sunday is.
All right, well, more from Liam Cohen coming up in a minute. Tony put me on this. Bill Barnwell's doing his season predictions, and if you want some hopium, AFC South champs, your Jacksonville Jaguars, says Bill Barnwell of ESPN. He predicted that last year as well. He said, I'm just running it back here.
Run it back. Okay.
But he did cite the first team in NFL history to lose 10 games by 7 points or less in a single season. So you figure just some natural regression to the mean, right? At 13 games that were 7 or less, you only won 3 of those. If you win 6 or 7, you're just, you split them. You're adding to your tally. The second team in NFL history to only have one multiple turnover game all season, and they were the first team to do that in a 17-game season. So they had 17 opportunities.
Multiple takeaway game.
Multiple takeaway.
Okay,
yes. Multiple takeaway. That's correct. I'm sure they had multiple turnover games. And so his contention is they'll win more one-score games. They'll create more takeaways. And he says it feels like the Jags running into the, quote, our new coach is obviously a major upgrade on our old coach cycle more than any other team. But after Trevor Lawrence endured a static and frustrating offense when healthy in 2024, the hope has to be that he gets back to his old form with Liam Cohen at the helm. And I do think that when Doug Peterson got here, that first year, John, the play calling was getting guys open, right? And it was like a revelation. Oh, you're allowed to have creative play calling. And then it kind of stagnated over the last 2 years.
I don't know if teams figured it out or
I don't know.
They just changed. But I think also to Bill's point, the one other factor that comes in, they're so much faster offensively. And they seem to have so much more potential for easy touchdowns, and if you get one easy touchdown every 3 games, because of this team's speed,
breakaway,
I mean, then that's probably 5 times that happens. Mathematically, 3 more wins in close games. There's a lot of things like that play into what he's talking about. If they were close, if you believe they were close, they feel like a team's going to get more turnovers and more big plays. With Travis Hunter being sort of a big play guy, maybe they get 3 or 4 more close wins, which gets you to 8.
Maybe Bajal Tootin is that big play guy in the second half of the season.
So you've got those elements that make it into. There's a tangible reason why they could be better and more explosive offensively.
All right, we'll come back. Liam Cohen talking about the running back position this morning, and then we'll run through some of the nominees for Jaguars offensive and defensive MVPs that we get in on social media this morning. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Join the fun with the Frangie Show live this Thursday from 2 to 4 at the newly reopened Firehouse Subs on University. Appearances from a Jags player, The Roar, Jackson DeVille, and the D-Line. Thursday from 2 to 4 at Firehouse Subs on University.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, it's Vegas time. This is former Jags linebacker Tom McManus from Helmets and Heels, and we want you to come and join us once again in Las Vegas for the Raiders game weekend. If you've not been to the Circus Stadium Swim, you're missing out on 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen with all the current sports betting action. Plus, all you Jaguar fans are invited to huddle up with Helmets and Heels at the Overhang Bar with our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and special giveaways.
Lauren Brooks here. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, and myself will be broadcasting Helmets and Heels live on air from a Stadium Swim Cabana on Friday, October 31st. Then hosting the wildly popular Jacksonville Huddle Up Friday evening at the Overhang Bar inside Circa. If you were there last year, you know you won't want to miss it. If you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, stay where we're staying at Circa Resort and Casino from October 30th to November 3rd.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Hey, it's Lauren Brooks. Looking and feeling great isn't just for women. Hello Smooth Med Spa has something for everyone. Laser hair removal, wrinkle smoothing, skincare, and more. With over 400 plus 5-star reviews and over a decade in business, they know their stuff. Book now at hellosmooth.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, so Dylan's favorite site, Stream East, has apparently been taken down.
What?
Yeah, apparently so. Can no longer illegally stream sporting events on Stream East. You'll have to go to one of the other 150 sites that Stream East kind of
Sorry to inconvenience you, Dylan.
out there. Yeah, Dylan, sorry. Another browser search for you, my man. No, I was the king of that, Tony, years ago. I used to watch everything back in the day. Now I just pay for all the damn streaming services. And,
like a real man.
Oh, like a real man, right? Thank God I get...
you can continue the pirate lifestyle if you want to.
Yeah,
Dylan.
you can. I get the free MLB TV, and I'm at the Jags games every week. So what else do I need, Tony? The Knicks are on 20.
Red Zone.
Show how old I am. I have no
I don't
idea
need
about
Red Zone. I'm not home.
It's on when we're at the games.
It's on when we're at the stadium.
Okay,
man.
I take that back.
You do take that back. All right. I need Red Zone like one day a year.
Right.
Jags bye week.
Yeah.
That's about it.
We might need it too. They play Monday night this year, so we got a Sunday off for that.
True.
one, too.
That's
Yeah.
a good point there as well. All right. Let's get one more in from Liam Cohen before we run out of time today. Then we'll run through some of these candidates on the offensive and defensive side for MVP for the Jags. This was, again, kind of going back to the question. Now that you've gotten it down to 53, you see the structure of your team. What about these 4 running backs? Is there any way you envision them all being active on game day?
You can. I mean, they have to contribute on teams. And that's the big part of it is the special teams availability and dependability. And those things. And then, obviously, what's the role? I mean, does that mean we're going to rotate 4 backs getting carries? I can't say that. But you can if they're productive on teams and can help us in those areas, and then also have a role within the offense. So that's the kind of challenge we're working through right now, is getting through some of that stuff. But it's definitely doable. It's just, is that the best thing for the team?
It doesn't sound like it's going to happen.
I think it's a chance.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know like what their thinking will be as game approaches, but yeah, I mean, I can't quite visualize it, but there is part of me that you kept 4 for a reason. So
sure, okay, but all right, what are their special teams roles? Bigsby is your kick returner next to Parker Washington.
Yeah, the X factor is Tootin, but there is part of me that thinks they like Tootin enough and have things in place for him that you want that speed on the field.
If one is inactive, who's your guess?
I'm going to guess Tootin, and not love the guess because of how fast he is.
That's the thing. It's tough. Logs, right. I think, said he thought LeQuint yesterday. You know, again, not making it hard and fast.
He's so good on third down.
Right, but Logs thinks that Travis Etienne can handle that role. I'm kind of with you. I think I'd flip a coin between Bigsby and Tootin. And
I would too.
If you're listing Bigsby as a co-starter, how is he going to have a jersey on game day?
Right.
That seems
right. We could discuss
defy logic.
Yeah, there are so many good arguments that you could discuss this from now until 11:30 on Sunday.
Yeah,
and not feel like you're any closer.
Out,
you're right.
Right.
So yeah,
right. You got to figure out 5 non-offensive linemen that are inactive.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You have to, one of them could be an offensive lineman.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have 48 with the extra offensive lineman, you still got to figure out 5.
The extra offensive lineman's 8.
Right.
Okay, so you can have one offensive lineman as part of your 5.
Right. It's 47. It goes to 48 if you take it as an offensive lineman.
Correct.
That still leaves you, those 5 guys that are inactive.
What I'm saying, that 40, what was that, the 48th spot?
Yeah.
Can be your 8th offensive lineman.
Yes.
Right. And I think Milam won't be active in week 1, likely. He's not practicing
That's
yet.
what it feels like.
Right. Maybe Monteric is one of them. I think one of the defensive tackles, maybe one of the undrafted free agent pass rusher. I don't know. We'll
I would say
find out.
that's 3.
That's 3 or 4 of them right there.
So.
Quickly, here are a few of the submissions we got. Tony, you went Trevor and Josh Hines-Allen.
Yes.
John and I went with Trevor and Trayvon Walker as our picks for MVPs. Bush Drive Rich went off the board. De'Ami Brown profits big from all the attention to, as he calls him, Flying Thomas Jr., Hunter, and the Quad Squad in the backfield. It's not bad.
Good stuff.
And Devon Hamilton on defense gets back to his old self, proves that he's the best DT in the game. This was written by Josh Hines-Allen, wasn't it? All right. Let's see. A lot of Trevor. Foye on defense. BTJ, Trayvon. Travis Hunter on defense. Jordan Lewis and Etienne as an interesting one. More Hines-Allen. Somebody picked Travis on both sides. So I don't know if I'm missing anybody who got mentioned here. They got mentioned a lot. A lot of Trevor, a lot of BTJ. Those are the obvious ones. And Hines-Allen and Walker, the primary ones on defense. I don't think I saw anybody put Tyson Campbell out there. There's Brenton Strange, a few Brenton Strange votes in there as well. So just win a bunch of games. Nobody's going to care who gets the credit at the end of the year. All right, we'll wrap up with John here in a moment. But first, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right. Hello, Matt Hayes. How are you?
Good morning, fellas. Always love the Johnny O days.
It's
Always
good stuff.
love it.
It's the best stuff. It's the best stuff possible. We were talking about a little bit, making an allusion to college football. Like, Alabama thinks we may be one thing. They show up. That's not what they are, right? Bill Belichick, I thought we were ready to go. After one drive, it looked fantastic, and then you had no idea. How much do you think Liam Cohen, he addressed this morning, but how much in his heart of hearts do you think he knows what the Jags are going to show up and look like on Sunday?
He can't. I mean, he can't. There's just too many unknowns. I think there's unknowns on the offensive line. I think there's unknowns on what Trevor Lawrence will be. I mean, we all think what he could be. We all think this is the best pieces around him. Offensive line, receivers, running backs, coach, offensive coordinator. We think it's the best. We don't know until it happens. You know what, though? It could be the other surprise. It could be they win 38-3 surprise.
Absolutely could be that. I don't think 38-3 is what I'm expecting. I think they're going to beat them by 2 scores, though. I do. I'm pretty confident in the Jags in this game. I do think he has the best wide receiver core he's had. I do think he has the deepest collection of running backs that he's had. Brenton Strange is not Evan Ingram in a pass-catching department, but he's serviceable at the very least. So, I think you're right, Matt. A lot's going to come down to how well that offensive line plays on Sunday and beyond. All right, so what's coming up for you guys?
We're talking Jags, obviously, big week, first week. We're going to get into some college football as well. It's always football on XLP, always, all the time.
Always football on XLP. All right, well, have a good show.
All right.
Appreciate it. And Matt Hayes and Joe C., Big Sirs, coming up for you for the next couple of hours. And on we go throughout the course of the day. John, what are you writing about over at Jaguars.com?
Planning to have Tony's MVP of the defense, Josh Hines Allen, on the Ozone podcast this week. Looking forward to that.
Tell him you voted for Trayvon.
I will. I'm sure
good
he'll
way to
enjoy
start
that.
the conversation.
And then we have Bucky Brooks on the Huddle Up podcast at 4 p.m. today.
All right.
Excited about that.
We'll listen for that. And good luck. I don't know who you're playing in week 1. I know I'm playing Duraco in that league. So good luck in your matchup because you're not playing me.
I'm Team Dempsey then.
All right. Aren't we all, right?
Anything anti-Duraco.
Bring down Mike Duraco, but not until he serves us breakfast tomorrow, which we're looking forward to. All right, John, have a great week, and we'll talk to you Sunday.
Look forward to it, buddy.
Game day, baby, coming up. All right, that'll do it for Jaguars Today. Tomorrow, Mike Duraco in. Breakfast Bowl week 1. We'll make our season-long predictions tomorrow for the entirety of the National Football League as well. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for XL Primetime next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Window